They're gonna see my pajama pants! Point to the imaginary subscribe button.
Either this one, or this
it's
one,
over here.
or this one, or this one. Whichever one it is.
Just click it.
Just click it.
Your arm is as heavy as everything! Lean your head up. My head looks huge.
It is huge.
My name is Paige, and this is my husband, Cody.
What's up, y'all?
And today we're going to be answering some of your very requested questions. Is that thing? Requested questions? Frequently asked questions. Yeah. I asked you on Instagram if you had any questions, because the day you'll be watching this is actually our 3-year anniversary. So I thought, what better way to commemorate our anniversary than to sit down, reminisce about some stuff, because I know a lot of questions have a lot to do with like how we became us and stuff. So I thought that would be cool if we just sat down, answer some of those questions, and go down memory lane.
Haven't we already answered those questions?
Some questions that we have already answered in a previous husband and wife Q&A. We won't be answering again today, because for those of you that have been around for a while, we don't want anything to be repetitive. So if you want to know something that we did not answer here, go check out that video. There's actually 2 of them. It's a 2-parter, so there's a lot of questions answered in that. So if there's something that you're just dying to know and we didn't answer in this one, I have it linked down below in the description box. So how did you know Cody was the one for you, and how did Cody know you were the one for him?
Do you even know?
Yes, go ahead. Answer yours.
Wait, well, how do you know?
I'm not. How did I know that you were the one?
No, how did you know that I knew that you were the one?
I didn't know. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess when you asked me to marry you, I assumed then that you. I mean, if you didn't know by that point that I was the one, then why in the world
are we even married?
Are we here now?
Exactly.
So go ahead and answer the question.
So I just went through a bad breakup. One of the longest relationships I'd ever had. Actually thought that was going to be the one. But that goes to show you that when God's in control, your life changes. Or He will show you the way, and that's the way you're going to
go. Amen to
that. You know, he's got a way of steering you. You know, what you thought was going to be your path could not be the path that He has for you. So He has a way of directing you. I can't even remember when that was, but around Christmas time, my cousin them always throws a Christmas party, and I weren't even going to go. I was actually going to sit at home and mope like I always did in those times. But she invited me to come down, so I said, well, why not? I ain't got nothing else to do. So I got ready. When I pulled up, who was there?
Dun dun dun!
Dun dun dun. Come to find out later that it was part of their plan.
Not really.
It was.
Not there. It was sort of like my plan, but not like, it wasn't a plan. I was just like, hey, what's Cody doing? Cody don't come to these parties. Where's Cody at? His cousin is my best friend, Kelsey.
Anyway, so I wasn't looking for anybody. I was still in grieving.
Like it's a death.
Like it's a death.
The death of a relationship.
So I wasn't looking for anybody. But we hit it off pretty good that night. We actually done some catching up, because I hadn't talked to her since high school. And I always flirted with her in high school.
Yes, he did.
That was leading up to this. We finally started dating. I asked her to be my girlfriend. And that's when I was staying out of town. Well, she come to visit me one weekend, and we had our first fight. Pretty heated fight.
It was a very large and in charge fight. I know a lot of people say they don't fight until like their first year of marriage. That's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie.
We had not a hitting and knocking fight. We had a fight, an argument, a huge argument.
Like, leave and leave now.
You didn't tell me to leave.
I did tell you to leave.
You told me to stay.
No, I didn't.
You went from telling me to leave to telling me to stay.
So that's when I knew. When we had the big argument, and I had told her to leave, and when she left, I felt really leave. I felt like I was missing something. She didn't leave. She actually
I just rode around.
Rode around the block waiting on me to call her, apparently. But I felt really bad. Not bad as in I shouldn't have done that, because I was still in a state of mind where I weren't really looking for anything serious. But at that moment when she left, it really hit me as, you know what? I just felt a part of me leave, and I felt like I had to make things right, so I told her to come back.
And we got Chinese food. I always thought Kody had like a special place in my life. I just didn't know to what capacity it was going to be.
What extent?
Maybe. Because we always just seemed to find each other again. Like, no matter what, we were always like right there. We were really good friends in high school. And he just always seemed to be there at the best moments, I guess. And he was, my mom actually graduated with her 2-year degree, and he graduated the same night. And I hadn't seen him since we had graduated high school. And I seen him then, and when he like started walking, I was like, there's Kody. I wonder if he's seeing anybody.
But I didn't see her that night.
I seen him. And then way later on, years after that, is when I seen him again. After I seen him again, and it was just like everything just seemed to be falling into place, and it never had before. It was like everything was just so difficult before in any other relationship I've ever had. It was almost like I was the one pushing for it. And I know now, looking back, you know, God does have a plan for everything. And if we just allow Him to give us something, He's going to give you something bigger and better than what you want. But at the time, you're sitting back and you're like, that's what you're focused on, that because that's what you want. So it's hard to imagine like He's going to give me something even better than this, because I want this right now. But if you just take your hands off the situation and take a step back, it's like, if you just wait, if you just wait a month, if you just wait 6 months, or if you just get out of that situation, I have something best. I've been preparing for you for so long now, and here it is. And that was the situation there. That's why I just was like, I said, this is just too easy, God. Like, here I am. I had like completely given up on relationships, and I was just like, I'm just going to do me. I'm just going to make sure that I'm on the right path with God, getting everything situated. And He threw Kody into the mix, and I was like, no, just not messing me up. And then finally it was just like, Paige, this is it. This is exactly what you've prayed for all of your life. This is the person you're supposed to be with. And I think I've always told him that I realized it when I had went to visit him one weekend, which was a different weekend from the argument he talked about. This was like, I think the first weekend that I went down there. And when he left to go to work, I cried like a baby watching him go to work. And I was just like, this is ridiculous, Paige. You big baby, like, what is wrong with you? And I knew then that he was it. And I was in for a whirlwind of Kody. What are some sweet things that you like to do to make the other feel special, loved, and appreciated? Not that I'd like you to do, that you like to do for me, is what she asked.
I've never been one for planning things to the detail that she does.
Very detail oriented.
Very detail oriented. I mean,
down to the...
Yes, the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
I like to surprise her with gifts every once in a while. I hadn't done it in a while, but...
Years.
You better hush. Whether it's a charm for her bracelets, taking her out to a nice restaurant, nice dinner. I'll buy her flowers every now and then, a sweet card, one that's about 2 foot long that I remember.
I bought that, not you.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Oh, never mind. That were mine.
Is this making you realize the last time you've done anything?
I need to get better, I know.
I do more things on the regular for him. I just like to do stuff in general. I'll just surprise him whenever. I don't ever like plan it. Sometimes I plan stuff out, especially for holidays. I like to plan stuff out, and I like personalized stuff where it doesn't look like I just went to the store and grabbed something and got it. I like personalizing stuff so then he knows that I spent time on it, and I want that effort to show or to be like a representation of how much I care for him. So I like to put time and effort into stuff so then he'll know how much I love him.
She does a very good job.
I know. When things get rough between the two of you, what do you both do to keep your relationship so stable and strong?
Pray.
We said that last time.
Did we?
But that's the truth.
That is.
I said we prayed a lot. I was like, pray. Pray every day.
I leave.
He does not leave.
I don't leave. I mean, I might ride around the block or something.
He's only done that probably in the whole time that we've been together, which is about 5 years in December altogether. He's left probably twice in that 5 years. We go our separate ways inside the house. We typically don't leave.
Yeah.
We typically don't get out and leave. I mean, like,
Right.
There's literally a handful of times that we've done that. Because I just don't think that's a smart idea to leave and get in a vehicle when you're mad. You don't think clearly when you're mad. So it's best to stay in the safety zone of your house and just go your own separate ways and just do whatever you do to get back in a good headspace, get calm. I don't cool off or forget things as quickly as Cody does. Cody it's like he goes from 100 to 0. I know it's like people say, well, first he goes from 0 to 100 and then 100 back to 0 real quick. It's like it all happens so fast. And I'm still like edging back up to 100 by the time he is already back down to 0 again. So it's like he does it on a whim, and I start working myself up emotionally, thinking about all the stuff that was said and done in that time. So then I'm upset, and he's over it by that point. So it's best that we just part ways. And I know a lot of y'all probably watch and you're like, oh my gosh, they're perfect and they always get along. And because I get those comments and people are always like, how are y'all making it, and how is it just so easy? And it's not, I guess.
No, it's not.
It's not that easy. I mean, and if it is, then there's probably something being hidden that you don't know about. If something's just going along that breezily, is that a word? Breezily?
It will be today.
It's today. So if it's too easy, I just feel like that's because you're not being completely 100% transparent with each other. And we're very transparent, which is why some days is harder than others. But because we are very traditional when it comes to relationships, we talk things through for the most part. Even though sometimes we don't want to talk, we still do anyway. We both go through our times where we don't want to talk.
Mainly you.
Mainly me. I just feel like I get into a space sometimes where I just sort of shut down, and it's like I don't know what to say, so it's best I don't say anything at all, whereas Cody doesn't care, and he just says. But for the most part, we try to... I think we're at the point now to where we know what direction an argument's going to go in. We know how to prepare for it. We know we already know sort of what's going to be said and what's going to be done. So at this point, it's just like I just roll my eyes and shrug my shoulders. Like I literally have made this face so many times. I'm just like, it's whatever. Give him an hour and then we'll be good to go.
Probably 30 minutes.
Maybe not. Yeah, no, maybe not even that long. It was a cool question. So I was watching 50 First Dates yesterday, and my question to you guys is, how and what would you do? What would you guys do to fall in love with each other again if either of you lost your memory? I don't want to steal Adam Sandler's idea in the movie, but I do make videos and content, so I obviously would probably make videos just because I like doing that and I enjoy it. It's my creative outlet, so I'm sure that I would do that and show him whenever he had a brain fart, I guess, when you lost your memory. Be like, well, look at us, look how happy you were.
I really have no idea what I would do.
I'd probably just be lost in space because Cody probably would never bring me back. I'd be walking out in the yard picking up acorns or something and he'd just let me.
Hey, that would actually help me out.
Once again, dear priority.
Hey, I mean, I like that. I like that. Pick up my acorns, I can go dump them out in the woods.
If you know anything about the 5 love languages, I am words of affirmation and then gifts. Cody is acts of service and then quality time.
Well, am I acts of service? I don't remember that. Anyway, so I would have to come up with some way of showing affection and using
His words.
certain words when I talk to her, because she loves that. Go read that 5 love languages book.
Not that Cody's finished it or anything.
Not that I finished it, but I have read her top one.
You need to read it again. What is one thing that you and Cody feel is important in marriage? For example, my husband is a firefighter and we barely see one another, so my most important thing is communication and putting one another first. So what's one thing you feel is important in a marriage?
I would agree with the communication part. We're not in that situation to where we don't get to see each other often, but even though we still see each other every day, you still gotta talk.
It's very important.
Yes, you gotta share your feelings.
Share your day.
Share your day. Sometimes you need to vent. What was hard for me was her venting to me. I had to learn to
just let me vent.
Just let her vent. You have to, because she has to get it off her chest. And the same with me. Some things I just had. My problem was a lot of times I tried to keep it to myself, and then that just made things worse.
And then I'm trying to vent, and then he's never vented, so then he doesn't understand why I'm just like letting it loose, and he's just like getting mad at me because I'm venting, and I don't understand. You should be happy that I'm venting and getting everything off my chest. Okay, what's your guys' worst pet peeve about one another?
Oh my, I think I've answered this before, but
stop tickling my feet before I slap you.
So I have 2 now that I've.
She said 1.
One is when you leave out of the room and leave the lights on.
Well, the dust bunnies need to see where they're going.
I can't stand when you leave the lights on. And another one she started doing here lately is leaving the refrigerator open. She'll open both doors on the refrigerator, walk over to the sink, and do whatever she's got to do with whatever she's doing, like washing the lettuce or whatever she's doing, and leave the doors open.
I'm going to put something back in it. I don't want to keep opening and closing, opening and closing. I don't leave them open for a long period of time.
Yes, you do.
I don't. My pet peeve about Cody, there's so many, but if we're going to talk about one, it's him biting his daggone fingernails. Stop it, don't you dare. Quit. There's like 70 pairs of fingernail clippers in this house, and for some reason, there's at least 5.
That's a long way from 70.
And there's probably 10 files in this house. So there's absolutely no reason as to why he would need to put his nasty fingernails in his mouth and bite on them. And you know when he decides he wants to bite on them? When we're laying in this blessed bed. He'll be sitting back like a chipmunk or something. Quit! I'm going to punch you in the face. Nasty dunce. Hey friend, so my husband and I are 2 different beasts. Beasts. Why can't I say that word? In watching TV or movies, I'm totally fine with seeing spoilers, but to my sweet Matthew, he gets so upset if he finds out what's going to happen before it happens in what we're watching. Can y'all relate? Or am I the only crazy person who can't stand the suspense so bad? I just googled the end. Yes, you are the only crazy person that...
Really? Looks.
I do not ruin it for me.
No filter.
Don't ruin it for me. Like, I will be so mad if you ruin it. Like, I just need to see it. I'm one of those that has to start it from the beginning and watch all the way to the end. Don't try to slap me in the middle and try to sort of give me a brief introduction of what happened. Don't try to tell me what happened at the end. Just let me watch it for myself. Do not ruin it. That's why, and most of the time we don't watch shows as they come on live because we don't have cable. We watch them on Hulu the next day. So I will completely boycott all social media the night before if there's a finale episode coming on. I do not get, I'm like, I don't want to see what happened. I don't want to see who died. I don't want to see who killed them. I don't want nobody to ruin it for me. So, I boycott it all. He don't want to see the ending either. He likes to.
Yeah, I like to watch it through.
He's not as dramatic about it as I am. But
no. I mean, if I find out, oh well. But
if I find out and you're the one that told me, you're dead. So, my husband and I started reading the Bible together in the evenings. Do you and Cody have any habits or rituals that you do on a daily or weekly basis? We don't read the Bible together.
We do not read the Bible together.
I read it separately.
I tried. I tried for us to do that, and
we did before. We did when we were dating. We would do like
a verse or two.
We would do like little Bible studies and stuff. We'd sit down or we would. I remember we would read some in like during the day, and then that night we would get together and we would talk about what we thought about the scripture that we read,
what we thought it meant,
and then we would actually go and look and try to figure out exactly what it meant. We would do research and stuff. So we were doing that. We probably need to get back to doing that. We just have different ways. I don't think that you necessarily have to read it together. I might be wrong. I probably need to talk to the preacher about it, but I feel like everybody has their own way, I guess. Bible study and praise and worship. Everybody has their own thing that they like to do. And I know that for me, I get into like the whole music thing, and that's where I first start off. I get into the music, I do a lot of praise and worship, and then I will actually listen to the Bible, and I can take notes and different stuff like that. I don't think he does it the same way. He's more of just like a quiet, he needs a quiet space to read and take notes, where I don't like the quiet space. I like the music going, and
I have to be able to concentrate.
Yeah, and I can't concentrate when it's too quiet. Probably why we don't do Bible study together. Yep. But we do pray together. We pray before every single meal, no matter what it is, even if it's a snack. We pray before that.
We hold hands.
And we hold hands.
You don't see a lot of people do that.
Hold
hands before you pray.
We go to church and church functions as much as we possibly can. We would go a lot more if we were closer to the church that we attend. But for now, we do as much as we can with them. We're actually going tonight for practice, or I'm going tonight for practice. Do you guys have to compromise a lot, or are you generally on the same page when it comes to big decisions? We're generally on the same page. That one's not. We sort of think on the same wavelength. So here's a question. I would like to know what Cody's time commitment is to your channel and social media. I know he has one.
Oh my.
He doesn't.
I don't.
I have to get, if it's like for a sponsored video or something, and I have to get something done, or I have to get a picture posted, and I need you to take the picture, I need you to help me film, or something. I feel like maybe we do need to sit down, because I don't use him often as like my videographer or whatever. I do most of the stuff myself. But sometimes I just have to have somebody behind the camera, and I can't be in two places at once. If I could, I would. But I do think that I'm going to start. We might need to sit down, because if anything, it might be twice a month that I'll ask him to help me do something. If it's that.
Twice a month.
No, here lately, he did help me film this at the beginning of the week, but that's probably the only video he'll help me film for the whole month of October. Next question is, which love song best describes your relationship? What if I was made for you and you were made for me? What if it's meant to be? Loved all these heartaches away. I mean, it's not necessarily like it's a relationship, but like everything he's saying, I just felt like that was me. Like at the beginning of our relationship, it was just like, what if, Paige? Like, what if you just take this wall down that you got just plastered up against Cody and not letting him in? What if you just let the wall down? What if he's the one? What if he's going to change your name? What if he's gonna, like, I feel like that was just, every time I hear it, I love that song, because that's what I think about is the beginning in our relationship. Does Kody get man colds, and how do you handle them? Yes, and praise the Lord that they don't come that often.
I've only had one.
So far, this year. He's had them before. But, how do I handle them?
She takes care of me.
I handle them very well, because I know that they don't come around that often, and when I get sick, it's very often. I get sick a lot, and he takes very good care of me and doesn't do much complaining when I get sick. So even if it's a little man cold, I'm still going to take care of him regardless. I might complain a little bit, but not to him. I never complain to him. I complain to other people.
Really?
But I just take care of him. I literally take care of him from the top of his head to the tips of his toes. Would Kody ever start his own YouTube channel?
No.
He has zero patience.
I have no patience for this at all.
If he ever got an ugly comment from somebody, I don't foresee it going well, so... No. The divorce rate is so high, and people often ask me how my husband and I have remained married for 14 years.
Congratulations.
Yes. Would you use your platform to stress the importance of forgiveness and growth within a marriage? My opinion is that we are both flawed and growing humans. People think that you are only going to make mistakes and misjudgment when you are a child, but the truth is, as long as you are living, you are growing as a person and evolving spiritually. You are going to make mistakes. I think people forget this and want a fairy tale life with everything ready-made. And when a spouse fails to meet this standard from day one, it seems easier to divorce instead of learn and grow together. I absolutely 100% agree. And I think by Cody's nodding of his head, he agrees too. Like I said in the beginning, we're very traditional when it comes to that. And we do not think that divorce is even an option. Like, in my head, I don't even think if we're having an argument, then you just better fix it. Because, I mean, we ain't going nowhere. I mean, I don't understand why people think it's the norm now. And it's just nothing like, I think almost that people, they get married and think that, well, if we have a problem, we'll just get a divorce. Like, they automatically, like, they already know going in, like, this isn't forever. If something happens, if I'm not happy, I'll just go ahead and get a divorce. And I don't think that should be an option. I do not think that should be anything in your head. Not saying that it's not an option, because sometimes you just have to get a divorce. Sometimes things happen and you have to.
Something different.
If somebody turns out, if they end up being somebody that they didn't portray that they were, something like that.
Like saying they were, they're violent.
Yeah, if they actually ended up being a violent person, or if they weren't even who they said they were, if it was fake all along, or if they committed adultery, I mean, things like that, then I don't blame you for getting a divorce. I don't know how that would work, especially if that person isn't willing to work and make it work. Then it's almost as if it's not an even playing field, and if one person's trying to make it work and the other one's not putting in any effort, it's always going to be an uneven scale, and it's never going to work. So I just feel like if you don't feel as if you can give 100% all the time, you're not supposed to give 50-50. You're supposed to always give 100 and 100, because if only one of you can give 50, you're missing a whole nother 50. So somebody needs to always give 100 regardless. So if you're both giving 100, you're always there, you're always committed, you're always going to be there for each other. So if you cannot give 100 from the get-go, you do not need to even be thinking about marriage. You need to get yourself right first before you ever try to bring anybody else into your situation. So if you can't get into a good headspace alone, you can't get into a good one with somebody else. What is your favorite memory together? My favorite memory would probably be watching the fireworks at Disney World.
No, my goodness.
Anything with Disney World and you is just amazing.
Seriously.
Amazing. So, tried to answer as many of the questions as we possibly could. A lot of them were duplicates, or they were questions that we've answered in the past. So, like I mentioned at the beginning, check the description box for the links to the other videos in case you're wondering. And I will also put any other Q&As that I've ever done. I did one with my mama. I will have all of those linked down below. So if you have any other questions that you would like answered, they possibly were answered in one of those videos. Okay, y'all. I hope you enjoyed all these random questions. Cody thinks that he weighs 10 pounds. Stop. If you would like to see more of Cody in the future, give this video a thumbs up.
Really? Why do you say that every time?
Give it a thumbs up if you'd like to see more of this beautiful being.
Oh my goodness.
And I will make sure to make it happen. I hope y'all have a beautiful and blessed day, and thanks for...
Wait.
What?
You didn't say hit the subscribe button.
You say it. What do I say?
Say what you just said. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
If you haven't subscribed already.
If you hadn't subscribed already.
Hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed day, and thanks for watching, y'all.